Hello everyone and welcome to Zielonka. This is the premium expansion map for Farming Simulator 22. Just released today, so if there's any glitches or kind of stuttery, you'll have to bear with me. There's some stutters. We did start on new farmer mode, so we start with, of course, the Fiat 16090 Turbo DT. Little Kloss trailer behind it. We've also got the Zador Crystal 16045. A tiny little cedar. That's not going to be sticking around long. Spoiler alert. Listen to that startup. Wow, that's weird. This is the Lizard Pickup 1984. Super cool looking. This is really cool. I didn't know this was coming. I love it. Honestly. I'm going to be hopefully keeping this thing around for a while. We've also got the Deutzfahr Topliner. This is standard combine. I'm not even going to keep this around for much. I'll be honest, I'm just gonna harvest this wheat field here and then kick that thing to the curb. We've got, an 8RX in the vehicle shop. Tempting. But no, I don't have anywhere near the money. Let's look at some of the stuff included in the premium expansion. Of course, we have the Pickup 1984. There's also a tiny little articulated lawn tractor thing, which is pretty sweet. The Zador Crystal that we have, the Fiat 16090, a couple of mowers and a tedder, some weeders. I think we have, we do have this smaller weeder. It's only 4.5 meters wide, so probably not sticking around with that one for very long. We do have this 4.5 meter disc harrow. Got some cultivators and seeders and whatnot. Both of these are direct drill. That's interesting. This is a big one. 12.3 meters, it needs 550 horsepower. That's crazy. This one's pretty sweet too. The Bedner, it says it's cultivator, but it's really a power harrow. It looks just like a power harrow, so. And then this is like a trail seed tank or fertilizer tank, which is pretty sweet. And then we've got a pull behind seeder, a mounted seeder, which you would want this trailed tank with it. And then just a subsoiler. And this subsoiler actually, you can put a distribution unit so you can fertilize, again, using this trailed tanker. We've got some sprayers, all from Agrio. They can all do 27 to 36 meters. This one holds 13,500, which, if I am correct, that is the biggest amount you can hold in any sprayer. Yeah, 5,200 there. We've got 8,000 there, and then 13.5 thousand there. Even the self-propelled sprayers, this one has 4,200. This one has 9,000, and this only has 6,600. This new one here. So definitely going to want to be getting into as many of these machines as we can in this playthrough. Let's see if there's anything more before I go on. Yep, so there's some Grimm stuff. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Ooh, so this is one of the ridgers, and then there's a bigger one as well. And this ridger can actually work, if you put a 3-point linkage on it, it can work with this 3-meter vegetable planter. So you can do carrots, parsnips, and red beets with that one. And it can go right on the back of this one, so you can do them both at the same time. This one is much bigger, but you cannot attach the bigger planter behind it. This one is twice as wide as this one here. So I'm sorry if this is a little crazy, just trying to get through these quick so I don't have to spend a whole video talking about it. We've got a lot of different harvesters. I'll try to go through them quickly. This one, you have to pull it, you attach it right onto your tractor on the back there. You have to unfold it and then mount a pallet right on the back. And it will dump the crop into the pallet until the pallet is full, and then you have to dump it. So there's no tank on the actual harvester. It doesn't have to tip into a trailer as you're going. It just fills up a pallet, and then you got to get a new pallet. This one is similar to the first one. This is the one we start out with, I believe. Yep, this is the one we own. It's like the exact same as the last one, but instead of dumping into a pallet, it just dumps into a trailer. You still attach it onto your back of your tractor right like that. It's only one row, just like the other one. Next up, we've got this one, which is also one row, but it does have storage on it. So instead of dumping into a pallet or dumping into a trailer, it stores it up in this little tank here. And then you just dump that into a trailer when it gets full. This next one is 2 rows. Doesn't dump into a pallet. It doesn't have a tank. It dumps into a trailer. So this is the only 2-row pull behind. And this one is not attached directly on. These two are both trailed, as you can see. They have a hitch. They don't just attach and sit on the back of your tractor. They actually get pulled behind. Then this last one here is also 1 row. It's also trailed, so you're pulling it behind you instead of it mounted on the back. And this one holds 4 pallets at once. So it doesn't dump into a trailer, or it doesn't hold its own. It just dumps into 4 pallets, and then once it's full, you just unload those 4 pallets and then put 4 new ones on there. Then we have the big boy, ZKIVSE. I know that stands for something in Polish, but I think, if I remember correctly, it stands for like a self-propelled harvester that does 4 rows and is superb or something like that. But yeah, it does 4 rows, which is the most of any of them. It does not have a tank to store it on. It doesn't fill up pallets. You have to put it into a trailer pulling alongside it. It's harvesting here, and you're pulled up right alongside it, emptying it out. Last couple of things. We got a neat little 3-point hitch thing for the back of your tractor. We do have that already. So instead of using like a skid steer or a forklift to pick up pallets, you can just attach this onto the back of your tractor. Then we have this, which is a forklift. So instead of just forks that pick stuff up, this one can actually raise and lower hydraulically, in addition to the tractor's 3-point linkage. We've got a bucket for a front loader or a wheel loader, and then the vegetable pallets. And you can buy 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those. You can also, I believe, buy them directly onto the machines that use them. So if you're using this one here that loads 4 pallets and it's unfolded and ready to go, I believe there is something you can press to buy pallets, and they'll just spawn directly on it. So yeah, we're running a few mods, as you can see. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I just want to walk through everything we're doing here. Got a lot of the DLCs, not the Vermeer one, because that's pretty much exclusively in the United States, and this is, of course, Poland, or modeled after that area of Europe. So yeah, let's look at what farmlands we own. And I do apologize, I am sick right now, so if my voice is a little nasally or just off, that is the reason. It's unfortunate that this happens right when the premium expansion comes out, but it is what it is. We do have field 52, which is part of the same farmland as our starting farm is, which is right across from the shop, by the way, so that's going to be super nice. If you buy, like, we don't even need tanks of seed and fertilizer on our farm, because we can just buy it and go right across the road, so that's excellent. We got a big field of wheat, and then an open field. And let's look at everything we own. Sorry to be bouncing around like crazy. We do have, as I said, the pull behind vegetable harvester, and then the smaller of the seeders. We do have the disc harrow, the tiny weeder header trailer for our harvester, and then we have 2 trailers. So one will hold 8,000 meters, and the Kloss one holds 12,500. But the Kloss one can get a extension to hold 22,500, so nearly double. So that's definitely going to be something we try to do early on. But yeah, let's get this harvest started. We're going to quickly harvest the wheat here, and I'm going to disable straw swap. I'm not buying a baler right away. We're just going to actually, never mind. We're gonna chop up the straw. We're gonna rent the tiny little Massey Ferguson baler to get a bunch of bales made. I am going to sell the harvester right after this. Nice harvester, very good, but way back in 2021 when this game came out, November of 2021, this was the harvester you got with Elm Creek and with the Ho Bailero or something, Ho Baileron. I do apologize for my butchered pronunciation of that, but this is the harvester you started with. It's not even the smallest one. The smallest one is the Rosselmash. I don't know why we didn't start with this one on any of the maps. This would have been cool on Ho Baileru. But yeah, we started with this one, and I don't know. I just don't necessarily like that 2 years later, nearly to the day, we still have the exact same harvester as the starting harvester, so yeah. It's not a big deal, it's just I'm not going to have them sticking around very long. So right after this field's harvested, we're selling it, and we should get over 100,000 for it. Again, because the store is really close, so we'll get over 125,000 for it. That's crazy. I am going to sell the cedar that we started with right away. I'm not even going to plant another cereal crop that would be harvested with this, so I'll just hop in the cedar crystal and take the cedar over to the store, which again, right next to our farm. So I will dump out the pallet, and I'll try and do that here in the grass, just so we don't sell it with 600 liters of seed in it. That's a waste of money. We don't even have $100,000 left anymore, so every little bit counts. We're going to want to hang on to every last cent as much as we can. Okay, where is the sell trigger here? Back here, it looks like. We are not selling the tractor, so I hope I don't mistakenly do that. We're going to make $29,000 from that. That's fantastic. We're going to run with seasonal growth for the time being. I'm going to turn off snow, though. I don't want that for this playthrough. Weeds on, lime off, fieldstone off. That looks good. And then, whoops. Just turn off all of these silly things. Fantastic. Alright, let's hop on over, and I'm going to check out the vehicle calendar, because that's something I haven't seen. Or, sorry, crop calendar. Red beet, carrots, and parsnip are all planted from April to June. Carrots can also be planted in July. The harvest time is August to October, so that's a really quick turnaround there. Matter of fact, I'm turning off seasonal growth for the time being. The reason for that is I want to explore all the new crops pretty quickly. So, yeah. Which one of these tractors is bigger, actually? 160 versus 150 horsepower, 6.7 tons versus 5.6. So this is actually the smaller of the two tractors. So I'm going to put him on the little planter here, and it does start filled with seed. Let's do carrots first. Let's bring it over here to the field, and I am going to get the 3-point linkage on this one. I'm going to buy this outright. How much horsepower is required for that? Yeah, so we're going to want the scratch everything I just said about this tractor. We're going to use the Fiat for this. And I'm going to use the Ridger, or Hiller, or whatever it's called, with the 3-point linkage on it. And this is going to allow us to plant, or to ridge the dirt and plant it at the same time. And this ridging, sorry I haven't explained that yet, this just simply gives us it gives me a layer of fertilizer. Big lag spike when I hopped into the interior. This is going to need a wait, I can already tell. So I'm not sure exactly what the controls are for this, but yeah, this is going to let me do both of these things at the same time. Let's raise them both up. Drop it down, turn it on, and turn on the planter as well. And this may actually be too much for this tractor to handle. Let's see if it's even doing what I think it is. Okay, sweet. So as you can see, we are planting carrots, because there is now carrots there. And then we are also fertilizing, so that's exactly what I want it to be doing. Fantastic. It's a pretty good sounding tractor too. There's a lot going on here. And this is what I meant by ridging, of course. It makes these big ridges like with potatoes instead of just flat soil. So let's hop back in the combine to get this field finished up. I am also going to get the baler, as I said. I'll be renting the little Massey Ferguson baler just to get a little bit of extra cash out of the straw on the field. So I'm going to go over and do that real quick. Let's check out the interior of this one. Nice. Pretty simple. Okay. Find balers, there it is. And it is the smallest baler, but like, it's not tiny. I mean, that's a pretty big piece of machinery right there. Farming Simulator is very good at making big things look really small. If you saw this thing, this tractor pulling this baler on the road, like here in the game it looks pretty small, but if you saw this on the road next to you, it would be quite a shock, I would think. Unless, of course, this type of thing is around your area all the time, and then it's not all that impressive. There's the worker carelessly driving through all my crops, as per usual. And the silly drivers stopped in the middle of the road, even though he is obviously not harvesting the road, guys. Come on. Okay, these bales are tiny, so we're going to make them pretty quickly. Even though the yield isn't great, I don't think. I don't even think there was fertilizer. Yep, no fertilizer at all. No weeds growing, so that's good. Yeah, we're popping these things out pretty quickly. And instead of just sitting down, they kind of flop around sometimes, as with that second to last one there. And that one there. They don't just like lay down nice and pretty. They just kind of fly around a little bit and have a good time. Wow, he's already almost full. I could already use a third tractor. That's crazy. His pipe will be exposed though, so let's drop off the baler and get the trailer real quick. Field's coming along pretty nicely over there. I wonder where my second trailer is. Oh, there it is. It's around the house. Here's our farmyard. I'm sorry if I haven't shown that off to you. Got a couple of sheds. This white building here is a chicken coop, or there is a chicken enclosure right next to it, which is pretty cool. We got chickens, 11 of them, I believe. Excuse me, sir. He's gonna drive over my bales, isn't he? Yep. Pretty bumpy ride for that guy. He's blocked himself with my baler. That isn't even my baler. I hope the rental company didn't see that, because gonna make me pay some hefty fines. Alright, sir. Let's get you emptied up so you don't have to stop and cost me money just sitting there on your phone. Okay, that's good enough. Now this idiot's stuck on bales and a baler. Lower them both down, turn it back on, hire a worker. And let's see if we can kind of see what's going on down in there. Not really. But you can see the difference in color, I think. You can see right under that, it's kind of like a light gray, right under the ridger. And then after the planter goes through, it turns darker. That's the fertilizer being applied. See over here, 0% fertilized. And then over here, we are 50% fertilized. So it is one application of fertilizer. And wow, that almost filled the trailer up. Do have a silo, that's fantastic. I'm going to just have the combine unload into me on the next one. That should fill the trailer up pretty full. Not all the way full, but closer to full than it is right now. That is extremely detailed on the inside there, under the in the engine bay, under the cover. That is impressive. All right, buddy, you get her turned around quick. How full is he? 14%. This is what we're going to be using to Oh, that's painful. This is what we're going to be using to get all those bales, so might as well. That's got some get up and go. Wow. That's impressive. Let's just get this guy ready for the bales to be put in there, and those are actually light enough that we can just pick those up without super strength, so that's very good. Right, let's make some more progress here on the harvest and the planting and the baling and all of the things. We very nearly got the bales done here, or baled rather. We've got to get them off the field, of course, but I do want to show a bit of the seeding, or planting. I guess you can call it what you want. I'm going to refer to it as planting, just because that's more typical for my area. But yeah, we're going to get this pass done, and then, well, I'll just go right to him. The Fiat's been doing okay. It struggles here and there with the horsepower, because it's got 160, and only one of these machines, like just one of them, requires 160, or it says, you know, you're supposed to have 160. What does the planter say? The planter says it wants 50, so that's a combined 210 horsepower, whereas this only has 160, so yeah, the math ain't mathin'. Unfortunately, you can't control them both from one. You have to individually control them separately, so it's not terrible, but it is rather annoying. But yeah, you can see we're doing 4 or 5 mile an hour instead of that 6 where we'd like to be, so we definitely need a bigger tractor in the near future, because remember, this is the smallest of the planters and the smallest of the ridgers, and it's struggling with it. So, and this is our biggest tractor too, so yeah, we need to get something a little more powerful. But for the time being, struggling is a-okay. We can handle it just fine. We haven't even used half of the seed in this planter, so that is very, very good to hear. I think I'm going to get the chunky tires on this, the wide tires, after we're done with this field, and then this is what I'm going to have to use to till the other field. And we're going to be planting, I'm probably not going to do carrots there as well. I'm going to do red beets on that field. I want to see what the wheat would get us. Yeah, it's only going to be like $15,000 to $20,000 for the wheat, so that's honestly not worth it to me. That'll probably just feed my chickens. As I said, I've only got 11 of them, so that that amount of wheat is probably going to last quite a while, unless there are some hungry chickens, which is possible, I guess. So that's where the wheat's going to go. The straw will be sold, as there's nothing else you can do with straw except for feed them to cows, or not feed them, use it as bedding for the cattle, or mix it up in TMR, and then I guess, yeah, feed it to the cows. So since I don't have the money to get into cattle, we're going to be just selling it, and I imagine it's probably a couple $1,000s. Yeah, $7,600. That's more than I figured, but so probably like $8,000 to $9,000 of straw, which is decent. That'll pay for a month's worth of leasing something good. Not that I know what I want to lease right now, but $8,000 is nothing to scoff at. I want to look into productions very quickly, because once we harvest this stuff, ideally we could send it right to a production chain. Not necessary, but would definitely be preferred to send that right to a production. For the first couple of years we could just sell it in bulk, but these crops are they're high yield and low price per ton. So you're going to get a lot of them, but they're not going to sell very well. You'll still make pretty good money because you get a lot of them. There's high yielding, but since they're high yielding, if you can turn that high yield into something that's higher value, like the preserved food or the soup. Again, I'm not sure which one's going to sell higher. I could look that up, but that's what we're going to want to do, is be able to turn that high yield but low value into a still decent yield but a high sell price. And of course it's going to take time, so you can guarantee that you're going to make more money with the option that takes more time, because you got to get paid for your time, right? Wouldn't be worth it having productions if they didn't pay off, because they take months sometimes to do it, to produce the products. Alright, let's see how much these chickens take. Yeah, such a small amount, man. That's so small. 750 liters. And I have 12,000. You can get 20 chickens though, so we have a rooster and 10 chickens. That means in a few months we're going to have more chickens. It's just how life works. I don't want to leave these crops out exposed to the elements, so I'm going to put them away in the silo, and we're just going to park this trailer right here. Let's get this harvester sold. I don't want to have to... It'll lose value as the older it gets, so I don't want to just sit on it and make it lose value, because knowing me, I'm going to forget really quickly, and it's going to sit there for 5-6 months, and I'll be $20,000 in the hole for it. So definitely want to avoid that. Let's sell it as soon as possible. And I'm not saying I'm going to never do cereal crops and never have a harvester, but for the time being, I'll stick to contracts to do my harvesting. And the vegetables is where we're going to go. Oops, I don't want to customize it. There we go. Lots of money. 228,000. And if there's one thing I know, that ain't going to go very far. It sounds like a lot, but if I buy a field for, wow, only 20,000. That's crazy. Okay, what do we have here? Cotton? What's a crop that I can do? 49's got parsnips. Or, yeah, so does 57, I believe. or 58. Field 33, farmland 58. That's pretty close. Let's see here. What do we got? It's been fertilized once, just like mine. It's ready to harvest. Let's buy it. Wow, look at that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these folded up and placed right here. Gonna want the chonky tires on this thing. We don't have a workshop, but it doesn't matter because the shop is right here. So let's get the thick tires on this thing. Ooh, actually, on second thought, I'm gonna take the harvester. I don't really fancy letting a worker have all the fun and harvest the fields for me, and I don't have anyone to play with multiplayer, so as this harvester needs a trailer to dump in all the time, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to get one of the harvesters that has pallets or that has its own tank. I'm going to look and see kind of what the price tag is on all those. But first off, let's get this thing sold and make about 40 grand off of it. I can get 180 horsepower. It's 10,000 pounds, $10,000. So we're going to do that. Yep. So I spent $13,000 on the tractor. And how many thousands am I going to spend on this harvester here? So this one will do a pallet. And it's only 40,000. This one will store. It's 100,000. Wow, those things are expensive. Alright, we're going with this one. And I'm going to get a pallet. Well, matter of fact, let's see if you can, in fact, buy the pallet straight on the piece of equipment. I believe that's how it works, but I'm not 100% sure, so. Sadly, it's just the one row. It is what it is. Let's open up our help menu here. Buy new boxes. You first need to unfold. Well, let's do that then. And then we press comma to buy it, and it'll, yeah, it's $130 in the store, so it's not even more expensive to do that. That's awesome. Let's get the beacons on, because we are driving with a whole harvester on the back. Not this path, but the next one is what we're going to take. We have $180,000 left. Oh, that's a pretty good looking path there. Let's see how this looks in the rear view. Just about the same as from the front, or from the back. And my field is not terribly far away. You can see my bales on the field, which means we're pretty close, because if we're super far away, then they kind of drop out of render distance and you can't see them anymore. Okay, here we are at the field, and that's a good looking crop there. Pretty tight rows. Not much room in between them, which is good because that means there's not much room for weeds to grow. The yield bonus is 75%, so I don't know what the highest you can get. I mean, 100% would make sense, but I don't think that's going to be the highest you can actually get. Let's go ahead and lower it. Turn it on. Very good, we're getting some parsnips. That's filling up extremely fast. We're only doing one row at a time, and it's already 56%. That's crazy. You can see the waste kind of spilling out the bottom. That's funny. We're going to need lots and lots of pallets for this. I don't know how many I'm going to buy before I, go and dump them all to get more pallets. Or instead of buying, because I could buy probably like 100 pallets. Not fill them all up on this one field, but you know, I could make do with 100 pallets. I could find ways to use them. I think I might do 10 or 20 pallets or something like that. Something small and manageable. Something that'll fit on a trailer if I wanted to. So that way I can ship them to wherever I'm going without too much difficulty. It's looking pretty good. You can see it's like a conveyor belt the way it just sucks them up in there. And we're like so close to being full. Let's just harvest like a bit more. And that's probably enough. There is a bit of a delay, obviously, because the machine has to sort out the leaves from the actual crops down in the ground, so. Alright, let's turn this thing off. How do I drop this guy off? Unload boxes, Z. That's pretty simple. And then I just pull forward and buy another one. Sweet. Turn him back on and keep rolling. This harvester is going to take its sweet time harvesting all this, and I will probably end up leasing a bigger one at some point, just because I know myself. This is fun for now. It's probably going to get not boring, but pretty monotonous as we go along, so. Yep, I could go for the bigger version of this one. The problem is, anything bigger than this is going to need a bigger tractor. This is the biggest tractor I've got, so yeah, we'll just have to see. Maybe I could like speed things up by changing the speed of the vehicle, but I doubt that's something I'll do. Definitely not going to do this whole thing in one episode though, so. And in the future, honestly, any of the fields that I'm going to do vegetable planting with, I'm going to plant in like strips, and obviously I didn't even do that over there because I just thought of it now. But instead of planting this whole field, I'll have like a row like right here, all the way down the field where I don't plant anything. Just because obviously you can only harvest on the one side, which means I have to go to the opposite ends of the field every time I harvest. Every time I turn around. I can't just turn around, I have to go to another side of the field, so having like a lane in the middle of it would make it easier. I wouldn't have to go as far, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. It's been pretty hectic, but I'm excited. This is new. It looks amazing. The map is really cool. There's tons of stuff we haven't even talked about yet, so hope you guys stick with me and continue to enjoy. I'll see you next time. Peace.